Hello, everyone, and welcome to Feature Friday. We'll get started here in about 2 more minutes. Okay. Hope everyone can hear me okay. If you're already in the room, please just say hello in the chat window, knowing so that I know that the audio is working okay. Hi, Cynthia. Welcome. Thank you so much. Hi, Picola. Welcome. Welcome. Yes, so like I said, 2 minutes and we'll get started. Hi, Mia. Missed you too. I've missed everyone. Oh my gosh, I've been a lot of news tonight. I'll get started so I can kind of just tell everybody all at once. It's all good. It's nothing bad or anything like that. But hi, Georgia. Happy Friday. Audio was good. Thank you, Cynthia. Oh my gosh. You know, it's like always a dance with technology when I do this, and boy howdy. It can be challenging at times. Hi, Chris from Georgia. Welcome. Welcome. We've got about 1 more minute and we'll get started. Have me some coffee here. Hi, Miss Beth. Welcome, Miss Beth. Hi, Gia from Troy. Oh my gosh, from Troy. Awesome, Gia. Good to see you on here. Hi, Gail. Welcome. Welcome from Connecticut. Yes, you're from Connecticut. How awesome. What a beautiful state Connecticut is. And I just like saying the name Connecticut. Okay, everybody. It is 6 o'clock. I am going to get started. And for those of you that are new, everything I do live is recorded, so you can go back after the fact and watch it as many times as you want if you need to. Tonight's live, just coming in off the road, and boy howdy, what an eventful 4 weeks it has been. Had an awesome time in Phoenix, Arizona at the Rusty Barn Quilt Show for 35th Ave Back and Sew. What a wonderful shop. Oh my gosh, and the people out there are just awesome. And I'll be going back out there this fall. So, after I got home from that, the last 2 weekends, I've been in Missouri. Hi, Sarah. Oh, Sarah, don't worry. It's cold, snowy, icy, and soggy here too. 'Tis the season. Can't wait for spring. I am in countdown mode for warmer weather. Oh my gosh. Cynthia, I know it's cold up in Minnesota. Now, when you see me looking over this way, I'm looking at my chat window on my big monitor over here so that I can see everything. Oh, wonderful, Georgia. Congrats. Hi, Vanessa. Oh my gosh, it's like family reunion time. I've missed you all so much. Oh my gosh. So where was I? I was at Jackman's Fabrics for the last 2 weekends. The first 2 weeks ago, a week ago from last weekend, I was at their St. Louis store on the Missouri side of the Mississippi River. And last weekend, I was at the Fairview Heights store on the Illinois side of the Mississippi River. That's a mouthful. But I tell you, it was also, hold on, I hit a button. That's not the one I want. Not the one I want. There we go. So what happened was, off camera, I accidentally touched a button on the keyboard. So let me set this down away from the touch zone. So that doesn't happen again. Oh my gosh. Anywho, So, wonderful 2 weekends in a row with Jackman's Fabric. Oh my gosh, the people at Jackman's are so awesome. Let me tell you, if you are in the St. Louis area, they have 2 stores. Excuse me, allergies. They have 2 stores, and let me tell you, I've been to a lot of shops all across the country, and it's not often you get such a wide selection of fabrics, let alone baby lock machines. But at Jackman's, at both stores, they have not only some of the most awesome quilting cottons, they also have home decor fabrics, and that's upholstery, drapery fabric, canvas. I mean, you name it, they've got it there. And if you're into making bags or cosplay stuff, home decor fabrics, people, is where it's at, let me tell you. Now, that being said, both stores have quilting cottons, home decor, and they also have apparel fabric. You don't find that too often anymore. Plus all the threads and notions and machines you could possibly want. So if you're in the St. Louis area, stop by and visit Jackman's Fabrics. In the St. Louis area, there's one on Lindbergh Boulevard. And then over across the river on the Illinois side, just off of Interstate 64, is the Jackman's Fabrics in Fairview Heights. Highly recommend paying a visit to both stores when you're in the area. You will not be disappointed. Let me get a drink of my coffee. Oh, Sarah, awesome. St. Patty's Day is only less than a month away now. It's like 4 weeks away. Imagine that. Boy, howdy. I know, Vanessa, I didn't know if you'd be able to come up and pay a visit or not this time, but I'll be going back to Jackman's this fall, so there'll be a chance there as well. So, upcoming travel, the weekend of March the 10th, I will be in Shelby Township, Michigan at Decorative Stitches. I'm doing a 2-day Sashiko event, and that will be on the Baby Lock Sashiko machine. We'll be making a kimono Haori throw robe, and then we'll also be making a quilted bag, tote bag. It'll be fun. Hi, Phyllis. Oh, I know, I miss seeing you too, Phyllis. Hi, Christina. Oh my gosh. Like I said, this is homecoming night. Oh my gosh. So everybody, that's the weekend of March the 10th, the following weekend. I will be in Naples, Florida at Flash Sew and Quilt there in Bonita Springs. And boy, howdy, it is going to be a 3-day Serger St. Patty's Day party event. So please make sure, if you're in the South Florida ever, or if you just want to get away from the cold and hit the beaches, South Florida is the place to be, everybody. Going to be a lot of fun. Hi, Marcia. I'm just trying to keep up with the chat window also over here, everybody. So that's my current travel schedule for the next 2 months. Other than that, I'm going to be here. You will see me now more frequently here on my channel because I have partnered at the Phoenix Quilt Show. I met this super, super nice person, and some of you have probably stitched out some of her embroidery designs. Angie Stevenson. She is the owner of Lunchbox Quilts. And guess what? I am going to do a live sew along. Let me get my stuff. Where did I put my stuff? It's over here in the drawer. Yes, it is. Hold on. I'm going to give plenty of notice on this one. This will start around the weekend of the week after St. Patty's Day. So about about the last weekend in March, I'm going to start this. That will give everybody that wants to follow along the opportunity to purchase the pattern and get your fabric selections together. So what we're going to be doing beginning in March is this right here. This is all in the hoop. Fun, fun, fun. We're going to make this embroidered quilt top. Check it out. Hi, Janelle. This is going to be so much fun, everybody. I'm going to show you how to use this product to make this beautiful quilt top. If you purchase this, go to your local shop. They can order it in for you. Or you can go, if they don't carry it, just go to lunchboxquilts.com and you can order it direct from Angie. Check out the back of it right down here. It is right here, right where my finger's at. There is the web address, lunchboxquilts.com. This pattern I'm going to be doing is called Just Flowers. And if you're going to purchase this, make sure you get this as well. This is the companion package for it. It's called Mark a Block. So after we take our embroidered block out of the hoop, these are templates that will fit right over that embroidery design, and she makes these too as well. And we will be able to mark the perfect square blocks without having to make any type of guesswork out of it all. I'll be doing all of this live on camera, and you can follow along and sew along with me. We'll do a different set of blocks each week, and there are, how many different blocks are there? Well, let me tell you, there are 14 different blocks. The quilt will measure 60 by 60 inches. This is what the package, this is actually the retail package, and I saw this sample in person at that quilt show in Phoenix, Arizona, and oh my God, it's so beautiful. You're gonna love making this. So this is going to begin towards the end of March, and I will get those scheduled here on my YouTube channel. That's gonna be, you know, when you watch my videos and so along, you're not paying me anything, but you do have to purchase this pattern if you want to make one with me. Or maybe you just want to watch how it goes and order one after we get started, because this will take 14 weeks is how I'm going to divide it up. So it's not, we're not trying to get it done, race around the clock and get it done, so to speak. Okay. Tomorrow begins our February project. And you'll have plenty of time, because tomorrow I'm just, the first couple of episodes for the one I'm getting ready to do that starts tomorrow is all about one block wonder quilts. Okay, that some people called it a stack and whack back in the day, but it's based on the book. There's a series of books called One Block Wonders, and specifically, there's many variations of it, but specifically what we're going to be doing starting tomorrow, I'm going to show you the process. We're going to take 6 quilt panels. Okay, for instance, the one that I have one in progress right now. It's already been cut out, but for instance, if you like this panel, you would need 6 of them. Look at that big peacock, okay? And what you do is you layer 6 of these on top of each other, and then we're going to use straight pins and match the pattern for all 6 layers exactly before we start cutting it apart. I'll show you my technique for that. Then we're going to cut it apart, and then we're going to have fun sewing it together. What I personally like to do when I make one just using panels, I buy 7 panels, because I will put all the piecing on the front, and then I'll piece the 7th panel into the backing for the quilt. So I have seen it done where you put your piece blocks around the panel on the front. I don't know, might do that way. I don't know yet. We'll see. You can go either way. But here's the deal. Once you get it all layered with pins, you're going to cut strips. Okay, so that panel there was 24 by 42 inches approximately. So across the 24-inch width, I will cut my strips. You have to have a 60-degree triangle ruler to do this, okay? You can't use the 60-degree line on a 6 by 24-inch ruler because it's not accurate enough. But this one I purchased, this is a Jenny Doan from Missouri Star Quilting. And I like the bright fluorescent yellow ones because my eyesight is not great. But this helps me to be able to read everything. And I have a story to tell you about what I just said about my eyesight after I get done with these announcements. But yeah, love this. And the one I've got cut here out of the peacock. So I layered my 6 peacock blocks. And y'all know before Christmas I showed you how to make bowl cozies. Well, I use my fabric bowls to organize quilt pieces with. See that? So what I've done, I've got some of the piecing done already. And I'm going to go over all of this in great detail because I'm cutting a different one for the class that begins tomorrow. So once you have your 6 layers lined up with pins, you cut a strip, and what I cut was a 4.5-inch strip. So for instance, I would use a 6 by 24-inch ruler to do that. But the 4.5-inch line right there, I'll put a piece of tape on the back of it. And they make ruler tape. You can use painter's tape if you want to. That way I can just look at it and know exactly where I have to line it up along the edge of the fabric. After I cut 4.5-inch strips from that panel, I'm then going to take this ruler and cut I'm going to use the 4.5-inch mark because the strip will go this way. Here's my 4.5 inches this way from here to here, and I'll get perfect stacks of 4.5-inch 60-degree triangle rulers. This is an equilateral triangle, everybody. What happens though is after you have because you're cutting through 6 layers, you're going to have 6 triangles and underneath every single layer the pattern is lined up perfectly that way. And then when you lay your triangles out, for instance, here's one stack from one cut from that piece. When you lay them out, you're going to make a kaleidoscope. You're going to put all the same centers, all the same points will go to the center. So you can lay it out, each one 3 different ways. Long story short, here are some that I've pieced. You do have to press the seams open to do this. This is one where you really need to press the seams open. There will be no Y seams because those 6 triangles will make a hexagon. You're going to piece each stack of cut triangles into 2 half hexes. Because then, check it out, you can piece the half hexes and make long strips to sew together. And we'll get into that. That's like in probably week 3 or 4. But anyway, notice when you put those together, look at the beautiful block that makes. Isn't that amazing? So what happens is you turn a panel into basically you're turning them into kaleidoscope hexagon blocks is what you're doing. And it is so much fun. Once I get these pieced and pressed, then what I do, I wonder clip the 2 halves together so they don't get lost. But yeah, here is a whole stack that I've already got pieced into half hexes. I still have an equal stack left to piece into this as well. So a lot of fun. I will go into extreme detail about that over the next few days, over the next few episodes, because cutting it is the most time-consuming part about piecing one. Once you have it cut close to perfect or perfect, everything else just falls together and right in place. It is so awesome. And believe it or not, it looks complicated, but it is so easy to do. I have, those of you that have met me out on the road has probably seen what I call my 10-year quilt. It is a one block wonder cut from one piece of fabric. I'm going to show this one. And this will kind of put it, hopefully will put it in perspective. But this one I use much smaller triangles in. But here is a one block wonder quilt, which is what I'm talking about that we're going to make. Not this particular one. This fabric is from 2007. You couldn't, if you could find it, it would be crazy expensive. But notice just one fabric cut into 6 equal pieces and layered and cut apart equaled this. This was just one fabric. Pretty cool, right? Okay. Whew. But while I was at Jackman's Fabrics, I bought some panels from one of their stores to use specifically for this class. And I'm going to show you what this looks like. What you want to do, the larger, for a one block wonder, the larger the print and the more variety of color, the better it's going to turn out. What I recommend to do, okay, what I recommend to do when you're looking at panels for one of these is find a panel that talks to your heart, buy 7 of them, and that'll make your quilt top. Okay, that's the easiest way for me to explain it. And I always like a lot of blues and purples and magentas, and I like bright jewel tone colors myself. And this is what I have bought panels of for what I'm going to start. I will show how to layer tomorrow. Here it is. Check it out. I'm going to back up so you can see this. This I will layer 6 panels on top of each other, and it will make, to cut out, it will make, this is going to make a beautiful quilt top, everybody. Once you get the eye for it, boy howdy, you can tell by looking at the panel if it's going to pop, and I'll tell you what, this one is going to pop. And when you buy panels, sometimes they're not cut apart, so there's one. They're not cut apart, so you get to do that. This is off the bolt. None of these are cut apart. And I thought I would just do that live tonight on camera while I'm watching the chat window. And I'm just going to get that done. And then before you sit down and layer them, what you need to do, everybody, is give it a good press. If you like to use best press it, give it a good press, because it'll just make the whole process, you're going to handle that fabric a lot. From pinning it and then cutting it into strips and then taking the strips and cutting those into triangles. Yeah, this is one time I would even recommend using a starch-like product, not Terrial Magic. I think that would make it too stiff. But you would want to use something like along the lines of, say, that I like Best Press. I use Ellen's Best Press is what I personally use. Oh, thank you, Mia. It will make it. It's going to make a beautiful top. Look at those colors, how bright they are. And you have to remember, this is going to be, all of this is going to be cut into triangles. You'll never recognize the panel after it's cut up and sewn back together. So I'm going to swap to a different camera. I'm going to watch the chat window. And I'm going to get my rest of my panels cut apart, and then they'll be ready for me to press tomorrow when I get up. Okay, so let me swap out, let me move to a different camera here. There we go. Okay. And I have another group of panels. Who remembers from about 3 or 4 years ago This Northcott Fabrics did those Stonehenge panels. I have 7 of those panels in my stash. I have on my drawing board to turn into one of these quilts as well. One of the cool things about making these, you don't have to select a bunch of different fabric, and you don't have to select a bunch of different fabric and guess on that. It's already done for you. So, let me focus and get this started just right. So what I'm going to do on these panels, you can see there's a dotted line right here that I'm rubbing my finger on. So I'm just going to cut them apart at that dotted line. Doesn't have to be perfect, because I will show you tomorrow using the straight pin method. It is pretty easy to line up. It just takes a little bit of time. And I'm going to clear all the sewing machines off of my table here for tomorrow, and coffee cups. Let me move that. Oh my gosh. There we go. Okay, so easy peasy. Just cut it on the dotted line. And here's the thing. There won't be a whole lot of wastage once you cut these up. But you could do these with any kind of panel. One I've always haven't tried yet that I want to is those Hoffman Dream flower panels. Yeah, that would make a really big quilt, because it equal 2. It'd basically be 2 of these panels, so it would make a pretty big quilt. I think those would make a beautiful one as well. Let me check my messages over here. So, Beth, what skill level do I think this panel quilt is? If you take your time, I think a beginner could do it. The only reason I would say maybe beginner, advanced beginner, is because you're going to be working with a lot of bias. All of those triangles are going to have a lot of bias edges to it. And as long as you don't stretch them, you'll see when I get started doing this, it's not that hard to do. So if you don't want to sew along, just watch the episodes and you'll see it's not that complicated to do. It truly isn't. The thing is, you just can't get rushed. Take your time and enjoy that process. Because, sewing and quilting is supposed to be fun. And if it's not fun, who wants to do it, right? Now, could I lay this out on my big cutting table and do it with a rotary cutter and a ruler? Yes, I could. However, I wouldn't be in front of the camera talking to all of you if I was doing that. And there's another one. So that was... Okay. Let me cut these 2 apart, and I'll have 2 more cut out. Oh, Kathy, I think the City Lights panel would make a beautiful one. Seriously. Because that finished quilt I showed you, you couldn't really tell by just looking at it after it was finished, but that was a Laurel Birch Ocean Song fabric off the bolt. Let me tell you, you don't have to do this with the panel. You can do it with yardage off of a bolt. The only trick to it is you have to cut the repeats, all fabric that's on a bolt, not panels, but just fabric. The pattern is repeated sometimes every 12 inches, 18 to 24 is the most common. And if you were going to do it off the bolt, you would cut 6 pieces of fabric at every repeat coming down the yardage to make your quilt. And it'd basically be the same thing as we're doing with this. It's just easier with a panel as far as not having to look for the repeat, because that's obvious with the panel where the repeats are. If you're And the fabric that's not good for this is any type of calico fabric where the prints are small, tiny prints. Not good for this. Well, Mia, what you want to do, you want to get the ones that are like approximately 24, and then selvage to selvage, okay? So basically the ones that are 24 inches in width is what I'm talking about for this. You could use those little small pre-printed blocks, but you're not going to get that effect that's desired with this type of a quilt. So panels that are approximately around 24 by 42, or the width of the fabric, is what you want, in my humble opinion. Okay. And let's get another one cut here. And this is such beautiful fabric. Oh my God, this would make, not for a guy, but this would make a beautiful. I saw someone at that shop had used this fabric and made a skirt out of it. It was a beautiful garment made out of this fabric. Because it's kind of like rich watercolors and all. Let's get another one cut. It's going to get my prep work done for tomorrow. Tomorrow's episode will start at 6 p.m. tomorrow night. I will get that listed on the YouTube channel. If you don't subscribe to my YouTube channel, you need to subscribe to it, hit and touch that notification bell, because then you will be notified when I list a new class or a new episode of a class. I'm going to get the episodes. Now, since I know what my schedule is like between now and March the 10th, I'm going to get some episodes booked out for the future as well. You get this cut, and I'll read some more over here in the chat window. And I'm not being perfect with this because, you know, when we line it up with pins, you'll see the edges. There'll be a little bit of wastage on the edges, and that's okay. Certainly, there will hardly be no wastage with this type of a quilt at all. Oh, you're welcome, Mia. Okay. I have got two more cuts to make, and these will all be cut out. Lots of fun. Okay. Oh, Marcia, okay. So, everybody, I have had some of you know, last fall I had eye issues with my retinas. Well, they've come back. It's come back in full force to follow me into this year. I just recently had my third eye surgery, and I have some diminished vision in my left eye, and I'm just taking it one day at a time and see where it goes. So it's putting. Sometimes it's difficult for me to drive. Right now I'm okay to drive, but I'm kind of leery about doing it. So that's what's going on with my eyes. And I started a new series of medication for my diabetes. I am taking a once-a-week injection, and it is really helping with my blood sugars. So that is a good thing. Yes, Christina, 6 p.m. Central. That is going to be my new go-to time for everything, simply because that way it will make it easier to remember. I was doing a few lives beginning at noon, and I'll tell you, it was hard sometimes for me to remember that, and I'm sure it was difficult for y'all to remember that one as well. So we're just going to, from going forward, it'll always be 6 p.m. Central Standard Time that I go ahead and post the times for any classes that I'm going to do. And I'll get these Feature Friday ones also posted out into the future as well with some topics. I have some ideas for topics and all that fun stuff. And it's all going to be wonderful and great. Thank you, Gail. I appreciate that. Now, I just have some blurred vision. The first eye I had to have retina surgery on was my right eye, and it was a great success. Not so great with my left eye. That's always been my weakest eye, and boy howdy, it's just not wanting to be a happy camper is all I can say, and I'm just going to leave it at that. But it's all good. Everything will be just fine. Side note, I think this drug that I'm taking injections of has been out for about a year now, and I've only recently started. I'd started it last fall and had to stop because, quite honestly, I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford the co-pays for it, and with my new insurance, it began on January the 1st, I was able to get requalified for that new drug, and I'm back on it again. It has really dropped my daily blood sugars to a very acceptable level. I just have to be careful and make sure I eat something so it doesn't bottom out on me. But it's all good. Having great success with that, so that's a good thing. That's my positive health news right there. Okay, so there's all my panels cut, woohoo. And then tomorrow, regardless of what kind of panel you have when you do this, what we'll do is, like, for instance, see right here where these two colors meet in between my fingers? I'll put a pin right there, and I will slowly peel back each layer onto that pin so my straight pin goes down at the exact spot through all layers. And I will do that all across here, and that's how you line the fabric patterns up, whether you're doing it with a panel or yardage. Okay. Woohoo, those are done. Woohoo. And I'm just going to spread some of these out for my peacock. If you have, like, my peacock panel had a striped border, and look what a stripe does with this technique. Check this out. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Okay. What created that? Just to give you an idea of what it looks like after you cut it up, this was made from this area right here. See these stripes? Well, there they are right there. Isn't that cool? Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, and I'm not ashamed to tell everybody what I'm taking. It is Ozempic. One pin lasts for 4 injections each month. And each pin retails, depending what pharmacy you get it at, anywhere from $1,000 to $1,200 a month. I'm not having to pay that for it now because of my new insurance with its copay. But boy howdy, I did it for 3 months last year, and that was all I could really honestly afford. And I had a good effect with it last year. Another really cool one, check this out. This is one of the tail feathers on that big peacock, and look how these look. I mean, totally different. So yes, Vanessa, so the only reason you would want to do 7 panels is if you're going to include that 7th panel on the front of the quilt top or on the back of the quilt backing. That's all. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that. Okay. And I know it bothers some people. Say, how can you give yourself an injection? Well, let me tell you something. I don't find a bit of a problem with that simply because my mother was diabetic and I helped her out a lot and did all my own vet work on the farm, so it doesn't bother me to do that. This was the neck of the peacock right here, but look what a beautiful block that made. Isn't that cool? Pretty cool. I'm going to take one that has not been sewn together and show you what I mean. Each one of these blocks I've shown you right here could be laid out 3 different ways. So let me go to the bottom of my fabric bowl here. This would be a good example right here. Okay. So as you can see, after I cut my 4.5-inch strip, I lined that up on the 4.5-inch mark, cut. Then the next one, I cut it like that, then like that, so forth and so on. Now, when we go to lay these out, you can audition this 3 different ways to make a block. I'm going to zoom this camera down, this lens down just a bit. Hold on. There we go. Now, I could do it this way. And lay out every single stack, has 6 pieces in it, precisely cut. What you're going to do is put the same there we go, all the way around. The same end goes to the center on all of them. So this would make check it out. These are so fun. I love making these because they're really very abstract and artistic. So there's one possible way that block could be laid out. Next, I'm just going to rotate each to a different corner and it'll have a totally different look. Now check this one out. Here's block number 2 we could make from that. And that totally changes up the look of it, everybody. There we go. Pretty cool. The third possibility is this. Just put the solid black end to the middle. And it has a pretty cool effect too. Look at this. So you have 3 choices for every stack when you make one of these. And it's really, I really like this one and the first one the best, I think. I like it like this. I really like this. This looks, of course, 1/4-inch seam everywhere. But if we put I think I like this one here. I really like this one. This is the hardest part of making one of these, is the auditioning part and deciding which one that you personally like the best. I think I like that one the best right there. Isn't that cool looking? And it is a lot of fun. This is something you take, this is not a rush quilt, this is something you take your time with, because when you get it done, everybody, you actually have a piece of abstract art to hang up on the wall or put on the bed. It is really fun making. I know, Vanessa, and they're kind of like a Lay's potato chip, everyone. Once you have one, once you've made one, you got to have another, and then another, and another, and another. And there is where the panels come in handy, because you can always find different panels to make these out of. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. I don't know, I just can't say that enough, I guess. I think I really like that. Like that one a lot. I know, Miss Beth, what you have to do is just play with it, and whichever one jumps out at you the most, just go for it. All 3 would work perfect. All 3 possibilities would work perfect. Just don't overthink it. I guess is the best way I can say that. Don't overthink it, just go with the flow. For instance, let's do something totally opposite from that. There was this one. This one has some of the big flowers in it, so let's just audition this one. And we'll just get these all out. Now look at that. This will be a hard one to decide. I can already see that, but I can tell you, I'm totally digging the very first one. Check it out. Isn't that pretty? Wow, I really like that one, everybody. I like that one a lot. So there's version number 1. Now we're going to just rotate them counterclockwise. 1, 2, and we'll see what new magic appears. Ooh, this looks pretty too. Check it out. 3, 5, and 6. That one's equally as pretty. I still like the first one the best, I think. I don't know. Mia, this one is made by Jenny Doan, Missouri Star Quilting. The key to look, whatever brand it is, equilateral 60-degree triangle. This is what you have to have. Equilateral 60-degree triangle. Creative Grids, a lot of manufacturers make them. I wanted this one simply because it was this bright neon yellowish green, and it really shows up well. And with some of my diminished eye capacity in my left eye, I can see this a lot better. So that's why I chose that. One more possibility here. Check it out. Let's do the rotate it one more time. And there's the third possibility right there. That one's really pretty too. I still like the first one the best, I think. I know, Miss Beth, I like the first one the best. Let's put it back there. So once you get your entire panel cut out, what you can do, and I didn't do this, and I probably should, yeah, this is my favorite one right here. I will sew it together like this, and since I've made that decision, when I pick it back up, I'm going to make sure my centers, I know which one of these 3 points is going to be my center, and that's where I'm going to put my Wonder Clip. If you don't have Wonder Clips, you can use a straight pin. But by doing it like this, check it out, I now know this is the center of my block right there where that clip's at. And it keeps all the pieces together as well. Just like I did there, there's the center for this one. So those are ready to sew together. And that's how much fun it is. I could go on and on and on and on. I agree, Sarah, that first one was the best. Let me see if there's one more different. There is another one here I want to show. So when I was talking about the stripes on the one end of the panel, so there it is cut out in an equilateral triangle. So let's just see, there's the 3 possibilities for this. Okay. This will make you look at striped fabric in a whole different way, because you can match up the stripes. We'll do that one first. And if I really like, it makes it look like, it reminds me of mosaic tiles I've seen in some of the old historical buildings in Turkey, in the Middle East. There we go. Check that out. From striped fabric to that. Christina, I will not piece this on the serger simply because simply because I have to press the seams open with this. So you need to piece this on a machine so you can press the seams open. You could piece it on a serger, but it'll put too much bulk right there in the center. Now, you could do it on a serger by using the cover stitch side of a serger, using the chain stitch, just the 2-thread chain stitch. I could use the Euphoria and do it. I'll have to decide that. But you have to be, here's the thing, you just have to be able to press the seams open, whichever machine you use. You could totally use the cover stitch side of a serger. You cannot use an overlock on this one. You could use the Sashiko machine, or any machine that mimics a straight stitch. You could do that on. You could use a featherweight and do this as well if you wanted to. So there you go. So there's possibility number 1. Miss Beth, it is a lot of fun. Like I said, quilting should be fun. If it's not fun, who wants to do it? Now, just by turning it one angle here, look how this totally changes the look of that block. Check that out. Totally changes the look of it. I still like the first one better. So that's version number 2. Let's see what number 3 looks like. I'm just going to rotate it again. It'll kind of be the same on these stripes as what version number 2 and 3. When the stripes meet in the center, it just changes the direction of the small piece up here. But there's that. I like this, but I like the number 1 better. This is how I would piece this together myself. Be right up here. This is how I will actually sew that together right there. And it's super easy to line these stripes, these seams up with those stripes. You might be thinking that's difficult. No, it's so easy. They just line right up. Tons of fun. So I've mentally decided that's how I'm going to do that one. So I'm going to put the Wonder Clip on the point that's going to go towards the center. There we go. Yes. So tons of fun. Going to be so much fun, everybody. And tomorrow we will get started. Tomorrow I'm going to layer. Show you how to layer everything together and get everything aligned. That is step 1 for this project. Then, you know what? I think I may have got more than, how many of these did I end up with? Because let's just see, because I felt like I cut out more than 7 panels. Let's just count them here. 1 and 2. In my stash, I have a tote full of panels, but they're all just one-off panels. So one thing I occasionally do for a quilt backing, if I have a whole bunch of mismatched panels, I will piece them together and make a quilt back out of them and make a beautiful quilt back. I lost count. I'll just get them all straightened up and then I will count them again. Yes, I lost count, everybody. Here we go. How many I got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I see number 6 right here. Here's number 6. Number 6, there's my, this right there is a quilt top, 6 panels. It makes it so easy, everyone. It makes it so easy to just get the fabric together for a quilt. So I guess I didn't buy 7 of those. I got 6. I swore I had one more. Oh, I did. It hit the floor. Right here. Here's my number 7. There's number 7. So that one, I will actually piece that into, I'm going to piece it into the back of my quilt. I've gotten to where I like to do pieced backings for my quilts instead of relying on 108 wide quilt packs. The only time I don't do that is, let's say I have a special quilt pack like a Tula or a Cafe. Yeah, then I will go ahead and use the 108 wides, but it depends on the quilt, really, quite honestly. There are those all done. So when I start tomorrow, I'll have all of those pressed. Let me swap my camera. Let me swap my camera. Right there. Hello. Okay. So where I have this camera at right here, everybody, is coming over the top of my Solaris, and it's peeking over a spool of thread is what it's doing. You can't tell, right? I had to tuck the thread in behind the camera. Otherwise, you would see this. This is, and I've started using this thread, and I really have gotten into it. This is Mettler Silk Finish. It's a cotton thread that has a silk finish to it, and oh my gosh, everybody, that is some yummy thread. I like to piece with it, and I'm going to start quilting with it as well, occasionally. That the lunchbox quilts we're going to do in March, I will be using Mettler Silk Finish. So for the quilting, once it's all put together, this is a gray background. You can use any background you want. I'm going to make mine. I already have fabric. The fabric for this. So what I'm going to do for this fabric for this one, let me just get this out there so you can start thinking about it. Hold on. Where is, let me see here. Where is, just a moment. I see it. It's over by the accomplish. Hold on. So I have one of these left. This is Tula Pink. It's a True Colors layer cake. So one layer of this will be enough for 1 or 2 blocks. Okay. So when I do this, notice the blocks in this are all different sizes. This is what I'm going to use for the flower. It's applique and embroidery. This is going to be the applique. And then I'm going to use Mettler Silk Finish for all the embroidery, I think. We'll see. I haven't fully decided on that yet. And then I have some Robert Kaufman Essex linen cotton fabric that I'm going to use for the backing fabric. It has a little bit of has a tiny little metallic thread woven into it. I think it'll be really beautiful. It's a darker gray than what that photograph is, but it'll be fine because I'm using jewel tone colors on top of it so it pops. And I will give you a preview of that tomorrow. So you can kind of be thinking if you want to follow along, that way you have plenty of time to prepare for that. It is much more, if you are going to do this, it is called Just Flowers. So it comes with a CD, but also there's a card inside of the package where you can just download the embroidery designs using that access code from the card that comes inside of this. But the blocks, the largest stitch filled is 10 by 10 inches. Okay. The smallest stitch field is 5.4 by 5.4. One stitch field is 11.4 by 5.4. So a 6 by 6 hoop, 8 by 8, 8 by 12, 6 by 12, that 10 by 10 inch stitching field, only Solaris and Luminaire or a machine with a really large hoop could do that. 8.3 by 8.3, 9.5 by 9.5 inch hoop would work on that, or 10 by 10 or 10 and 5/8 by 10 and 5/8. Anyway, when you look at that, go to her website and you can read all about it as to whether you have an embroidery machine to be able to stitch this out. Okay. I'll be doing that on the Solaris, just so everybody knows. Okay. But regardless of which machine you have, the instructions for everything collates between all machines. Hope that made sense. Yes, my thread is showing, isn't it? Let me just put that in behind the camera again. There we go. Okay. Vanessa, we will be redoing our online store here in the very near future. Nothing is on there right now. We've had to redesign everything, and it's just been a slow rollout on that, but it is coming, yes. Cynthia, no, I have not tried hotfix for appliques. I have not done that yet. I'm assuming that is, I will look into that, but no, I have not used that. I'm not going to say something that I know nothing about and make a fool out of myself. I do that enough. I will have to check out the hotfix. I have heard of it, but I've never used it yet. Okay. Okay, so let me think here. What else? I thought there was one other topic I wanted to hit on tonight. Yeah, I felt really bad the last weekend. The last show I did last weekend for Jackman's, this eye was a bloody mess. It was pretty bad. I just had the eye surgery in between the two events, and on Wednesday after the first Jackman's event, they got me in fast so that I could get that done, and then I went on and did the next one. But boy howdy, this side looked really rough. I mean, it was oozy. That's all I can say. And another thing, everyone, thanks, Mike. This summer, here soon, I'm going to start having classes in my studio that people can attend if they choose to. And that is one thing I am working on the website, is to get that up and running so folks that want to come here to my studio and take a class, they will be able to do so by signing up online. I have a lot of information coming up on that yet, and I don't have details yet. I am working on it. We're also looking at places in the area to do a retreat and have a big event space. So good things are coming. It's just going to take a little time to get all the little pieces of the puzzle put together. But the classes that I hold here in my studio, I will limit to 5 people for one class. It will be a 2 to 3 day class, and thank you, Vanessa. Yes, it will be a 2 to 3 day class, and there are hotels in the area and all that fun stuff. It'll be a good time. So, everybody, that being said, I'm going to call it a night. And thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Y'all are amazing. I've missed y'all so much, and boy, howdy, it feels good to be home. Okay, so I was tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, episode 1 of a One Block Wonder panel quilt. Stay tuned. Sarah, that is one thing I am thinking about probably doing as well, is having 5 spots for actual people to attend, but you'll be able to participate via Zoom as well. Working on all of that. It'll work out really well. Because I know a lot of you live all over the country and you don't want to fly to Illinois to do that. So, thank you, Christina. I'm so happy to see you too. Yes, Kathy, there will be, I am working out the details to have a virtual component to my live classes here in the studio. Thank you, Marcia. I appreciate you. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a wonderful evening. I will see you tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to have some fun. Bye, everybody. Good night.